with.
Yo.
So like, ain't about that.
Let's clear that up.
Let's clear that up. You know what I mean? Like,
That's right.
So, but just say if I was out there, I was looking for something. I mean, I don't know if I'd find a woman as easily as I found a woman like my wife. Cool. To the fact, I mean, the reason how she got me was one, we just sitting there, we kicking it. I mean, nothing really too serious. I mean, but we have a tight circle. I've known her since high school. I mean, so one of my close friends, I was about to go to her house for something. So I was just talking to her earlier. I was like, yeah, man, I'm hungry. I mean, I'm just getting off work. I'm about to go to my other job. So I'm just gonna stop there for a minute, chop it up. I mean, plus she lives down the street. I mean, I see her. Kill two birds with one stone. By the time I get there, I sit down. I mean, it's a plate in front of me. I'm like, yo, what's this? She's like, you said you was hungry. I was like, what?
Just like that?
Boom. So there's something to drink for
Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Lamar's wife. She knew what she was doing.
I mean, like,
What's the quickest way to a man's heart?
The drink. I'm like, hold up. I mean, like, I had chicken before. I mean, I cooked me, but not nothing. I mean, like, I'm not asking for it.
Yeah.
I mean, then on top of that, I mean, like I'm keeping it all the way funky. You know what I mean? Like, I had a warrant. I was driving through Irvington. I pulled over for some BS. You know what I mean? But I had a warrant. So I wound up getting locked up.
I want them to get locked up. Just
and
traffic.
The usual.
Yeah, it's traffic. I mean, something like so. I'm like, all right, I'll be on. I mean, a couple days. Here's what it is. I mean, I gotta sit here. Fuck. So I called my sister. She's a lawyer. I'm like, yo, so I mean, what's going on? Blah blah. She's like, yo, your bill paid. I'm like, excuse me. She's like, yeah, you're joining there. Your bill's paid. I mean, I don't know why you still sitting in it. My bell.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, what? Now we not dating and ain't no nothing. I mean, like, I'm like, yo.
Right, she's a keeper.
I hit my man up, was like, yo, something give me. He's like, nah, son. Like, yo, call Jay. Like, she waiting for me. I was like, yo, she waiting for me. Hey, yo, come get me. Yo, she was there like 10 minutes. I was like, yo, that's the night I had my first child. Put it right in there.
Put it right in there.
Put it right in there.
Hey, yo, ain't going nowhere.
You see all that? You see that? How you found this wife? Yo, my wife had the Coke bottle figure and the fat ass. I said, yo, I'm on that. I did you?
I mean, like, yo,
it was all testosterone talking.
It was kind of like that in the beginning, like this later on, like when she had first got me, like mom, like
he knew he was doing too. You heard what he said. She lived right up the street from where he worked.
Yeah, she lived up the street from my people.
Oh, from the people.
Two birds, one stone. But even with that, I mean, like it was a little bit of time. I mean, like our group of friends, we didn't see each other in a minute. So
plus y'all knew each other.
Yeah, we knew each other. I mean, but we had got back together. Like she had just dropped crazy weight, and so did I. I mean, so we get back in the army. I'm feeling myself.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
I'm out here, anything tight. I'm out here wilding. I'm at work with tight things. I'm working the shows more, so ain't nothing but chicks in there. I'm on everything moving. I'm running down on everything. I'm getting hit on by older chicks. Now me asking me out to drinks. I'm like,
how old are you around this time?
I'm like 25.
Ooh,
man,
I just 25, 26. You
got his prime. Man, listen, then I had my 300. You couldn't tell me nothing. You bitch stop me when I'm driving. I'm like, nigga, this is life. So now we go out to the city. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we all sitting there chopping it up. Now I mean, I'm looking up for him from over. I'm like, yo, she look way different, way better. She had the like Eve thing, like a blonde hair, short cut.
Oh God!
She had on all black with red lipstick, and that shit was just like it. She looked great.
Yeah, that's right.
And I couldn't stop looking at her. And then my friend, she seen me. She's like, "Oh, you know she ain't lesbian, right?" I'm like, "What?" Because she was a lesbian for a long time. Wow. That's why it wasn't nothing happening. I mean, we was cool because she was always brutally honest. Like I had a chick, like, yo, she's a wonderful person, but she's ugly. I'm like, yo, she's that type of person. Know what I mean? So it's always cool. Now I mean, like you ain't gotta worry about what she's thinking. She's gonna let you know.
Shout out to Lamar.
Shout out to Lamar's wife for sure.
So now I mean, she telling me like, yo, nah, she's on the right side now. She here for the right team. I'm like, oh, bird. So now the next. So I'm like, oh, that's what's up. So now, I mean, next time, like, it's my nephew's birthday, so we go down to Hershey Park. So, you know, that's 3 hours away. But it's 4th of July. So now we doing something at my other people's house. Mm-hmm. She there. I'm like, yo, I gotta get there. So we leave Hershey Park. I get back from Hershey Park in like an hour and some change.
Get the fuck out of here. Hershey Park far as hell from
I'm doing a buck or better. I mean, coming down this highway.
She's straight now? I'm flying.
I'm out here. Like,
Yeah, because
I
I
can't miss
about
this
2.5 hours away.
Yeah, word. Like,
that shit
I'm
fly.
not about to miss this opportunity.
You was damn sure doing over 100 the whole entire time. 120.
I'm doing the least.
For the next race, they scoop her up. Let me just slide
Point
it.
is, that thing ride is smooth.
Smooth.
You know, 120 gonna make you feel like 85 miles an hour.
No, 120 is 120.
I mean, like, down here, it don't feel like that.
Sociological people. 120 is 120,
120
motherfucker.
to me at that point. Like,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I'm cruising, so I drop my family off. I get over there, get back. Now I mean, so I'm like, hey, what's up? So now I mean, the whole time, like, it's funny. Now I mean, like, a whole bunch of stuff happening. Now I mean, chopping it up. So now it's time to leave, and he was up on the block with her. She's like, yeah, no, I'm not driving. I was like, I'll take her home.
I got it.
Of course.
Like, what you mean? Like, I'm taking her home. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Hit it with the oak though.
That's right.
This ain't my house. It's not.
It's not.
Hey, yo, this nigga terrible, yo.
I'm awful.
This ain't my house. It's not.
It's not.
This where you staying tonight.
This morning I can't.
Yeah, I pray my door never be stinking like him. I'm a girl dad.
Listen, and this is the reason I'm a girl dad.
He took me. Listen, me and you both, bro. I got 3 daughters.
Yeah, so that's why I have another one. I mean, like, because my one grandfather has all girls. And one grandfather has all boys. I'm chilling until all girls. I'm done. You know what I mean? Because just in my luck, I had to have.
More, man.
No. We made sure of that.
Oh, okay.
Nah,
Listen. This just brought this to my head real quick. So with that being said,
This ain't your house.
you do all of this. You get into a relationship and all that, right? What is the logic behind a person thinking that you could be raped, abused, or even physically abuse somebody and expect to be loved with that?
Restate your question.
Yo, that's crazy.
You're saying inside the relationship?
No.
What is the
Hold
logic? What is the logic behind thinking that after you have berated, mentally abused, or even physically abused somebody, and still expect to be loved by that person?
Oh, well, that's.
I don't have experience in it.
It's layers.
Yeah, but
I can.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So there's layers to that. Now, I mean, so it depends. Now, is this somebody outside the family, inside the family? Because there's layers.
We're talking about being in a relationship.
You're talking about inside a relationship. Now, if you're talking about now with somebody who you're trying to build with, that makes absolutely no sense. Because if you're going to say that you love this person, that you care for this person, there's no way that you can physically and mentally do those things to somebody.
You're there to dominate them. That's it.
You can't.
Sick love.
No,
You
that's
just
not
there to
love.
dominate.
No, I'm saying, listen, you have some people who literally love someone. However, that doesn't mean that they know how to control or they are disciplined. Like, listen.
That's not an excuse. As a man,
I'm
it's not an excuse.
I'm not
Go
giving,
get therapy.
Listen, I 100%. I'm not giving excuses, but however, I'm only challenging what you said when you say that there's no way that you can love someone and then you put your hands on them. I strongly disagree with that. But
to keep repetitively doing. I think the question is like repetitively doing it.
The question is more, what is the logic behind that? Especially, I would say, especially for men. Now, I want to give this towards the men mostly.
There's no logic in that. Now, I mean, if you have to dominate somebody, something happened in your life that made you feel inferior.
That's where I was going to. That's why I was going to. Some people really have trauma. You
gotta get it fixed.
I agree. I'm gonna say like I grew up. I watched my mom being abused. Right, me growing up.
So did I.
And you know, growing up in the hood, like I'm like, listen, I don't care if a woman. I don't care about gender. If you put your hands on me, I'm defending myself. I don't care your age. It could be a little 8-year-old. He kicked me. I'm kicking his little ass back. I'm dead serious. I believe in defending myself. I then being in the military, they teach us they don't care about age.
Yeah, I know
it
that.
Doesn't matter, right? Mm-hmm. So but I don't agree on putting your hands on a woman. I'm not, because we get in an argument, you yelling at me, bitch, shut up. And no, but if you start punching me all the time, I'm defending myself. I don't care the gender, the whole 9 yards. But as I mature and start, and that's just having like that hood mentality. Plus, my mom told me to defend myself. So then as you get to a certain level, you get to a maturity. I'm not saying never not to defend yourself, but I would definitely say is you have to watch or prevent those measures. But the best thing for you to do is to literally walk away. And the reason being is because you go to jail. I mean, fortunately for me, I work for myself. But however, the average person, you
screw yourself over financially.
You can harm so many other things that can happen. Obviously, we're not talking about life and death. Somebody come at you with a knife, you got to defend yourself.
Yeah, that's different.
But inside that relationship, because the thing about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
My bad. I mean, but the thing about it, I mean, like that, something like that. If you're a man and I'm not saying that nobody has been in that point of the action. I mean, as a younger person, like you said, I've been in a situation like that. I mean, with a female. But even at the same token, as a man, as you grow up and as you realize, one, you can't be as angry as you was. That's right. I mean, as a child, because that's not going to get you anywhere.
That's right.
I mean, like, you can be angry, you can have those outbursts, but you can have them controlled. So either you call him mans, know what I mean? Like, yo, son, I'm about to murk this nigga. Yo, son, you say I'm crazy. I mean, like, but I mean, like, you.
But that's you.
But you have to start as a man to learn that discipline, and you have to learn to measure 10 times and cut once.
That's
with
right.
Things that you do as you go further.
That's right.
Now, I mean, you have to learn how to hold your tongue and just read and watch the situation. See what people are, read people, learn how to read people.
That's right.
So you can eliminate certain things in your life. Now, I mean, so if you have a woman that may be toxic and can get to that side of you and bring out something that you've never seen before,
which is most which is
get rid of that.
Which is anybody that actually. One thing about a woman knows how to be your piece, and she knows how to get enough. I'm talking about this is your woman.
But a good woman will always want to be your piece. She's never going to want to get you out of your character.
But hold on. You got these same dudes for like the high school love theory. Like that's like a whole like American mentality, right? The high school love. This is how I met her and I'm going to be with her forever. Mm-hmm. But you never had a chance to grow. She had never had a chance to grow. But you with this toxic woman and you don't even know who you are.
But both parties don't know who they are. But I think that going through the
but you force yourself with that. It's certain small communities in America. You force yourself with that.
I think this is how I look at it. You know, and as I was because I got a topic that I want to do on Eat at the Table. I had to do my research that most people who get together younger actually has a better chance being in a longer relationship or everlasting relationship than someone who's once you get older and meet somebody. And that was the statistic.
I agree.
However, and it's because a lot of, especially men, a lot of times when a man make it like mature to a certain level and he done without a woman grinding with him, when he meet a lot of these women be trophies, and he don't really have that same type of connection with her because he feel like he did it by himself. But a man that actually like him and his woman struggled together, and he got into like she was with him going through his maturity, and he was with her going through her maturity. That bond, it's a different type of bond. That's
how it's supposed to be. That's how it's always supposed to be. Because at the end of the day, now I mean, like this whole. Everything that's going on now, know what I mean? So take like the manosphere, you know what I mean? Like they're talking about like high value men, this and the third men who have made a decent amount of money now, I mean, respected by the peers, X, Y, and Z, looking for wives, this and the third. You know what I mean? Of course, it's going to be a lot harder because again, like you said, I made this, I built this. That's right. Now I'm bringing somebody into this.
It's a trust issue.
And it's a potential that something can go wrong.
You got to trust it.
Know what I mean? So at the end of the day, know what I mean? And you have a lot of women that's at a certain age who's not able to find men because one, you're not willing to either deal down. You know what I mean? Because everyone's looking for a certain type of man. Like everybody's not going to get a successful entrepreneur. Nope. You know what I mean? Most men are workers.
That's right.
I mean? Like,
and that's how they say the average black man makes $42,000 a year. So all this 6 figure.
So, but it always has been. I mean, so as it went from one person being able to be inside the household, so now you need 2 incomes. So if you need 2 incomes, I mean, I need to get with you early, and we can get our things in order, so we can take our money and invest it properly, so when we get to those later years in life, we are good and we don't have to worry about it.
That's right. Go ahead.
You know what I mean? Like that's how it's supposed to be. But everything is so warped now to a woman. Like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get my degree, and I'm not gonna worry about a man right now. and then when you get your degree, get your career. Now I mean, now you're in 30, you're in the 30s. Now I mean, and you're getting close to a geriatric. Now I mean, birth between 30. Once you get 35, now I mean, like
you know, when they get closer to 35, they start panicking.
Now I mean, yeah, because
and
again,
then they pick the wrong.
You have a time frame.
Because then they pick the wrong.
I'm telling you some real shit. They don't want to choose white. Like I give it to the sisters. They really don't want to choose white. Like, do you think about them being successful in the workplace? Who's there with them?
White men.
White men.
But
and they really don't want to choose that. But then they have to look the other way. What's the other way? The $42,000.
But this what's the problem? What has become the problem with why can't you respect that man for working that job? Because how many
it's the
people
same
are
theory you just said with the black man or not even black man, just the man period that you just explaining, that he made all this and now he has to choose with all these women. You have trust issues, right?
But this
but what he's saying is
that men don't value the same things that women do.
I was just about to say that.
I don't, as a man with money, I don't give a shit about what you have. You can have as much money as me. I don't give a fuck about none of
it. Doesn't matter. I was about to say that's.
But as a woman, no.
Listen, if you have a woman bringing home $200K and you a fucking garbage man bringing down 40,
it's different for them.
She can't.
It's different
for a woman making $200K in corporate America. She a fucking boss. But just like hold on, time out. Let me finish. Let me just finish this. When you a boss, male or female, it's hard not to bring that shit home. So when I'm a boss and I know I'm the fucking breadwinner, you've seen this shit 1,000 times. Just in a men perspective, we come home and we treat our homemakers who ain't making money, but their value is incredible because they're taking care of home, our children, and all this. Men treat them like shit, right?
No, listen.
I'm not saying it's all cases, but you hear about this often, right?
Wait. But you have to understand something. You have to understand something. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. You have to understand something.
They bring home that home boss mentality back to the homemaker.
But what's happening is that as a man, when you make that much money, the people that's flocking to you are people that's trying to get into your lifestyle, trying to get what you built, right? At the same time, we talked about this before. When a woman is a high income, when a woman is a high income earner, she might be looking for somebody who either is on the same platform or she sees you on a human level. I'm like, look, I don't care. I got us.
Which is I'm about to say. They said
that's rare.
That's rare. I mean, they said 52.5% of black households is headed by a woman, right? It's headed by a woman.
52%?
52.5%.
That's a high.
No, that's 52.5%
of just black households.
Head of household is women.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of
single women. Yeah, that makes
sense. And also they talked about women making because we was talking about this on 8 at the Table. I had to do my research, and we was talking about women that also make more money than their men. Right?
Yeah, you can be the head breadwinner in the house, but you don't run
the house. I was just about to say. I was about to get into that. The only men that has an issue, right? And I'm telling you from experience right now. I don't even care how much money she make. And currently, my friends already know. I only deal with women really at this point in time that is either making what I'm making or more than me. And I really don't even have those type of issues. When I'm talking about all of that, because I think you as a man has to evolve. If you make money the main ingredient of y'all relationship, then you're gonna have a problem. But when you able to, you make such and such, but you don't even know what to do with the money. Oh, let me show you what to do, X, Y, and you put her up on game wild. She's like, dang, you making her, whatever standard that she thought that was there, you boost up that standard even more by giving information because now mind you, women are making money. 50% of the workforce is made up by women, but they also, Fidelity says that women don't save more than men. Men, they don't even know what they said that they don't even know what to do with the money. So all it takes is for you to give guidance. One thing that a woman wants is guidance.
But
If
that's
you can't
what
provide guidance,
they want
then it's gonna be
guidance
an
from.
issue.
They want guidance from an educated brother. Like back to what I was saying, man.
just 'cause that makes
wait, time out.
Yeah.
You gonna look at this shit as a whole. Let's just look at fuck woman or man. Let's just look at it as a human aspect. I'm not gonna listen to somebody who sit home all day. Tell me what the fuck you do with my $200,000 that I make.
But wait a minute.
Who said somebody sitting at home?
But what I'm saying,
who said that to her man sitting at home?
time out. I'm not.
Well, just as a human aspect.
It's human aspect.
Yeah.
So as a man, traditionally.
So you're the woman, and you're saying.
Time out. Traditionally, as a man, and so you can relate to this. Forever, a woman has been a homemaker until I won't say the past 20 years or so, where you needed two incomes, right? But the successful the successful man who makes a large income has retired his wife, even if she does have a degree, has kept her in the house to raise the children and not have somebody from the outside raise their family. Because that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. You want to keep your values in the house and not bring somebody from the outside to raise you. So if I make enough money, shit, stay home, have a hobby. Shit, start your own charity. I don't give a fuck what you do. But you're here, right? You're here with the foundation. So my point is, as a vice versa now, as a female, and I'm a black male, because you don't want to choose a white man who's in the same plane for an executive like you, because that's all you see. Are you really gonna respect me all the time when I come home? Are you gonna let a man be a man? Are you gonna tuck your tail when you come home? That's the problem. That's all right. Maybe with us in our age group. But it's a real.
Let me be a man. I'm just no one can. There's no woman that's allowing me to be a man.
It's not about
that's the
being
temperature
a man
in the room.
I hear you, but a boss is a boss. When I'm making it, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you could be a boss in the industry, but when you come home, guess what? You're still my woman. I don't care how much you're making.
Exactly, but that right there. What you're saying is a worldly way of thinking that a man is the alpha, and I run my household, and you're subservient to me, and that's all. That's why it's biblical. But that's how it's always been.
But that's not a worldly way of thinking. Now,
it is.
But we're talking about that.
Most of the world is what the way the way American women are spoiled in this country. Let's keep it real. I lived out the country. You know this. Yeah. Women around the world are still considered second-tier citizens. They're spoiled here in America, but you know that. Are you gonna look at me as a Haitian man and tell me it's not like that in a lot of countries?
No, I agree.
I hear what you're saying.
You hear what I'm saying?
Women in America is considered treated as second.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
I never. Wait.
Now we're going into education. We're going to society.
No, wait.
They're oppressed in other places in the world. They don't get
to prove that right now, there are more other countries that had women heads of state. There's never been a head of state in America. Let's be clear here. So I don't care about the jobs that they've been getting. At the end of the day, they still treated as second-class citizens. Let's be clear here. Ain't no when you break the mold and start allowing women to be heads of state, then you can. Now we got this conversation.
There's other
countries that allow women to be heads of state. Shout out to all of them black countries that does that, or Muslim countries.
How about this? You mentioned me. You mentioned me as a Haitian man. We had a woman as a Haitian president.
I hear what you're saying, but you have a woman.
America still has.
You have a woman. It doesn't matter what you have one. If I'm the former prime minister, right, of a country, and then I have successes, but it says an old man. I put everything in place for my one daughter that I might have had and had no boys, but I've had a plethora of daughters. But my daughters are gonna have all the privilege that I can give them because I had power. That power allows my daughters to change things because my name rings bells there.
Okay, so
right. So this is what you're not understanding. Sometimes those changes happen because there was no male successors. But that money, that power, allowed my daughter to be the first.
So what are we coming down to?
But culturally, that was not it. That was not it for hundreds of years. She might be the one she might be the one that is a leader. But in that society, you don't have any woman that can just jump up and just run for office.
For the last 6,000 years, you would be considered correct for the last 6,000 years. But however, we have plenty of history of women being heads of states. Let's just be clear here. America don't allow women. They make them chase it. But for instance,
but one thing is having being a head.
Hillary beat Trump by like 3 or 4 million votes.
You're taking head of state, and we're just talking about the common family structure, right?
But we also strayed away from the question, though.
But here, this okay, and I never got a chance to address the question about the marriage. We went left about the whole abuse. No, because you went to the next topic, and Lamar and you rode that. But I want to go back to one thing. Honestly, one thing.
Go ahead, bro.
The thing that gets me is that in this country, women are spoiled. Women can run companies. Women can have their own businesses.
Women can run companies in Nigeria.
That's one country.
Uganda.
But we're here, right? We're here. But what I'm saying is, you have 300 million people in this country, and our country is the size or bigger than certain continents. You know what I mean? Women are empowered here, and they can do a lot here. Maybe they can't be the head of state, but overall, you have your statistics.
Everything else.
Your statistics.
Everything else.
Literally from vice president down. They've had every.
But you keep putting politics in it.
Class.
No. You keep
still treated second.
No.
And they still go home, and they're not being the boss of anybody. They go home being a woman.
You're not, because I'm going to tell you, when you start talking about, let's just say money is power, like some of us agree with that, right? Some of the richest women in the whole world are in America in abundance. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't stand by that.
You talking about 300 million people in this country.
Those are the men that money. Most of the billionaires make a lot of money in the United States.
Billionaires, but if you want to talk about women, yeah, but how many women around the world in groups have tens of millions of dollars?
But there is more female billionaires in Africa right now.
So yeah, billionaires, right? But you want to talk about women who have tens of millions of dollars plus. There's a plethora of them in America. Like, this is not like this.
Hey, go ahead, Google.
All right, but I'm not gonna put you on blast.
Let's come back to the other part of the question which was long forgotten about.
So are we gonna
wait?
Can I? Are we going?
We're gonna talk about women.
I just want to ask you, white women or women in general, black women?
Just women in general.
All right, I got you.
Women in general have a fair
while he's looking that up,
because the law and the structure was put in place for them to have this opportunity. I can't say, woman, you can't work. You married me. Your father married you to me because I traded him 2 cows, and I own you now in a sense, right? You can't do that here in America.
I paid $12.50 for my money. That's half what that marriage certificate costs.
Right?
I own that.
You own that, right? You would say that. It's funny as hell. But like, it's real in certain countries.
What are you talking about?
It's a property trade, right? I traded you 2 of my father's cows, right, for your daughter. You know what I mean? And the families merged like that. So in a sense, I have an ownership of your daughter. Like, that shit is wild to me, you know? But it's okay. But that doesn't.
All right. So let's come back a little bit. So the second part of the question was, besides the logic of that, and still feel like you need to be loved by that person. So after all of that, the power and all of that, let's just say you berate that person and still feel like you should be loved by that person. Where's the logic in that?
It's misplaced logic. It's misguided. I mean, because if that's literally like you That's literally like a slave saying, "I love my slave master. Please continue to beat me." I'm not gonna go.
Well, we know what that's called. That's called Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, I mean, so essentially, like, if that's the only way that it's gonna be anything like that, like, you have to be, it has to be Stockholm syndrome. Like, you have to be inside that mental space to where you're so traumatized you're so traumatized that you believe that this is love. You believe that this is how things are supposed to be. I mean, like, you have to be delusional in order to believe that that's something that's going to be prosperous for you, because there's no way
that's the key word, delusional.
Yeah, you're living in delusion, because one, if you're being mentally deranged, you know what I mean, and then you're also being physically hurt. I mean, why are you still there? What else?
But that's the female aspect. But for the man thinking, I do this and I do that to her. But at this point, he's not even thinking. He's berating. He's physically or mentally abusing. He's threatening. Or
not even I can't even say it's all delusion either. Because again, I grew up seeing my mother being abused.
Me too.
By my father. I mean, so like, he had a drug habit that he was one of the ones that got caught with it. Why she stayed there, one, I have absolutely no idea. To that, I can't speak to. Was it for us? I don't know. Was it for me? Maybe she felt that I needed a man around. I'm not really sure.
But here goes.
But that's a toxic place, and in no way, shape, or form was that going to be conducive for the children to be in, let alone yourself.
Was it just actual father?
Yeah, it was my actual father.
But your story isn't unusual.
I was about to say,
my story is not unusual from the hood. I mean, this is what we had to deal with. This is what we had to see growing up. Like, but
it's not even the hood. But it's like time and time again, women get abused and they stay. And even if they leave, they find another man to abuse them again. So why do they still stay with the next man who abuses them?
But not even that. Now, I mean, like, you can't stay in that delusion once you get out of it, because my mother didn't stay in it. Now, I mean, once she got away from him, there wasn't no other man that was going to come around and touch her. One, because I wasn't allowing that.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm just saying that there are.
I understand his question, but you have to understand something. Wait. But I understand his question though, because listen, what you're saying is that your example is this: you have women that come from trauma. So when they get into a relationship, they look for that trauma. So they might leave one person because the trauma might be too much. They leave that person because in some way in their head, it was played out that way. You take too much trauma, you gotta leave. But guess what? You go back out and you look for the same thing.
And so, and I was about to say, and another,
and the things don't never get a chance to heal.
It's so many different reasons why they allow that. Because I'm sure you didn't hear. This ain't the first time you ever heard this. Some women really believe unless her man hitting them, that he don't love her.
He don't love her.
That's toxic.
No, that's very toxic. And then sometimes,
where's it come from?
Then you got some women who actually past trauma. It's always trauma, and also it's a slave mentality. The root of it is a slave mentality, because that's what happened on the plantation. So, and that's the root of it. That's where it started at. However, bringing it up to our time, you have some women, they actually want that. So you have some women who put their hand, and a lot of times we only see the man sometimes put his hands on the woman, but you don't see a lot of these women put their hands on their dudes.
Nah.
A lot of them do, and so when you get
the masculinity won't let us tell.
And then I was about to say, and a lot of men ain't gonna say nothing, but
because they masculine.
And then when you give it, like, yo, why you do that? You be like, yo, why you allow that to happen? She be like, and then she turn on you, nigga, mind your business. This, that, and the third.
That's the problem. Like, the reason all this is happening, the reason why you have rise of things like this. Now, I mean, like, because of what you dealt with in the past is that grandpa might have had a whole nother family all the time. Yeah. Now, I mean, we found it out to the funeral. I mean, that's something you might have had back in the day.
Right. No, she knew before the funeral. No, she knows. The children found out. Children found out. She knew. She already knew. Now, I mean, but what she do? She held down the home. Mm-hmm. Kids never knew nothing about it. Kids still had a stable home, still stable environment. They still loved their father. Big brother said, what I'm gonna do? Leave him, and so another man could do the same goddamn thing.
Exactly. Now, I mean, but even with that, now, I mean, like, that's still a form of trauma, but the kids were never exposed to it. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. Kids nowadays are exposed to the traumas of their parents. They're exposed to, but now, I mean, kids are seeing things. They're seeing adults, and they're not able to stay. Now, I mean, with children's eyes no longer.
Right.
They have to grow up quicker.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the problem. So now you're growing up too fast for your bridges. But then on top of that, you don't have the proper tutelage. I mean, you only have one side of it. So now you're getting one side of it. So as women, you're becoming masculine because that's what you see your mother. You have to be masculine. But as a little boy, you know what I mean, you're seeing your mother, and I mean, she's teaching you to be a man, but she can't teach you how to be a man. She's teaching you to be the man that she wants, which is an emotional piece of shit.
She's teaching the opposite. She's teaching the opposite of what she's been receiving.
Exactly. She's teaching you to be an emotional piece of shit. Now, I mean, and the fact that you have no masculinity to go on with that, which is the rules that govern men, which is the rules and regulations that tells you that, now, I mean, there's a beast inside of me, but I can't let him out because that has to stay inside. As a man, I mean, I understand that that's a part of me that I need to keep in check. As a man, I understand that I have to be logical and I have to think about things because the world doesn't owe me anything and it doesn't care about me.
Right.
I can be a billionaire on Wall Street and next week I can be sleeping in the park. As a man, that can happen because how many shelters are there for you? One. So this is what life is like as a man, I mean, and they're not being taught this properly. So you have all those men who are tricking off women. Now, I mean, you hopping from woman to woman. Now, I mean, living off them, living off their house, and then you wonder why women are having some type of feelings about men. Now, I mean, because the men that they are putting themselves in a circle with are the ones that are leeching off them because they're not men. Now, I mean,
it's a vicious cycle, though. But it's a vicious cycle.
It is because a vicious cycle.
They kick that one dude out.
But they don't change their circle, nor do they change their thinking of things. They don't go to get their trauma checked, and if they do, they don't fully finish it. Now, I mean, so then they say, I don't want this man, but then you find a man that's similar to this man, who doesn't do everything that he does, just some of the things. Right. And I'm like, you think that's a win? Right. Like, no, that's not a win. Right. I mean, like, why the hell would I go?
Nah, but she don't want it. Like, I can approach her, or you can approach her on the street, and you can be everything she needs.
It's not that she don't want it. It's
everything she. But again, do they know what they need?
A lot of them,
because a lot of people don't know what.
A lot of women hasn't met a real man though.
Now, I mean, like,
so they can't identify what
they mean. There's a lot of real, like, you talk. Wait. Disqualified.
When I say real men, I'm saying not that they haven't. How you doing? X, Y, and Z. I'm talking about they haven't been around. That's not their influence. In other words, of real men. They had not met a real man in their life.
But even if you do, now I mean, how do they really understand what that is? Because you're looking for something. Because technically, now I mean, for me, if I was to be on a date with Mario, now I mean, say last year. Now I mean, like, I'm not anybody who's making a whole bunch of money. Now I mean, but am I a man? Yes. Now I mean, am I confident in myself and confident in my abilities and what I can do and what I'm eventually going to get? Yes. But a woman will be looking at me like he's a dreamer. I mean, like, but
to your point, also,
they can sabotage their own situation. But
I was just about to say that.
I'm saying what I'm saying is this, right? And then you heard me make this analogy plenty of times. First of all, I don't agree that a woman should just submit to any old man. I don't agree.
You have to be worthy.
So now because our women are. Both the black man and woman is traumatized, to be exact. So to be truthful, however, because our woman is traumatized, only the right just because somebody is good doesn't mean that person is good for you.
Oh,
right. So my thing is, the black woman is like the wild stallion, that black horse. You ever watch those Western movies, right? You heard me say this plenty of times, Gene, that that wild stallion where all these other cowboys just trying to tame that black horse and they think they could beat the horse and the horse still won't let the riders jump on them. But when the right rider, right, come
meaning the right man,
he don't need to do all of the vicious
to
things
prove his masculinity,
to prove that he's the right rider for the horse. He touched the horse on the nose gently, the right type of touch. And that horse submits naturally to that man, not to that right rider. You don't have to be, if you gotta run around and tell a woman that you're a man, then goddamn it, you're not a man.
But I
agree.
And all these people out here nowadays, I mean, if you're looking for something like they're boisterous, but again, what is the problem with that?
Which is why it's called the groom and the bride, right? The groom and the bride. The reason why I use the horse analogy is because the bride, what is the bride? The bride is what you put on the horse. The groom, which is the rider who grooms and who's that horse that is. So the right rider or the right man comes. He don't need to beat or try to tame that horse in a vicious way. just be when you are a man, and I'm sure we all men in here, right? I haven't met you before, but I have met Ray. But I'm sure if I'm off the strength of Ray, I'm especially the story you just told me, I'm gonna respect you as being a man. As in other words, I know we walked in a room before, a room with women in it, and immediately. And it could have been one of these loudmouth women's all the time. Everybody be like, this, that, and the third. But when she deals with you, she deals with you totally different.
It's your presence.
It's the presence.
It's your presence.
When a man walks in the room, I don't care how much you think she is uncivilized. She submits. Her nature, she don't even know why. Her nature, she start acting accordingly because a man